Hi, Valerie.
We're
seeing your screen. Yep.
Loud and clear, yep.
So yeah, so I just logged into the mobile client, and as Scott mentioned earlier, I'm using an iPad emulator right now, and what you will see in the iPhone or the Androids, it will just be very similar, just a smaller screen. So one of the things we could do, as you can see here, when you first logged in, you have the different entities that come out of the box. So accounts, opportunities, your contacts and leads. And, let's say, you're mostly a sales role, so maybe tickets is not something that you need to see right away. You do have some preferences right here in the upper corner. And it's just as simple as this. You know what, tickets is not something I'm going to focus right now. I might just click on it to uncheck it. And leads is something that actually I do work a lot, so I want to kind of move them maybe a little higher in my list. So I have accounts and leads. And just a quick save, and now I just see my accounts, my leads, and then my tickets is hidden from my view. And everything that you see here on the mobile, it will be controlled by your security that was already set up in the, in the SalesLogix in your web client or your LAN client. So I did log in as an administrator, so I do see probably, I think, all the accounts, but it will automatically filter by your list of securities and your accounts. So let me show you here. So let's say, you just finished a meeting. I need to look up an account. I need to, schedule follow-up calls. I could touch base with them, the following week. So I could just drill down into the accounts, and this gives you a list. And actually, I was filtering some things here before the demo. So when you first log in, you get your list of the accounts that you have access, and you could start filtering just by typing maybe the first few letters of the account. I was doing Coca-Cola. Maybe I'll do something else, like, or I could scroll down. I could also just scroll down if I knew what I was looking for. But I'll say, let me start here with, of course, in my demo, I have nothing starting with the letter G, but, well, let's just go ahead and I'll go back to Coca-Cola. And I could type the first few letters, and it gives me anything that contains those strings. So I will drill down here into the Coca-Cola company, and this is what the view looks like, out of the box. And Scott mentions, if there's some custom fields that you already have added to your SalesLogix database, or some tabs. So the way it's laid out, I guess if I step back one step, when you first drill down, you have some quick shortcuts, or they're calling it quick actions. So I could quickly schedule an activity. I don't have to scroll down or do anything else. And then you have the key information. This will be kind of the upper part when you're in SalesLogix, the top part of the screen in SalesLogix. And instead of having tabs, we just have the related items sections, and those will be the tabs in SalesLogix that they're usually in the bottom. So out of the box, we see opportunities, the history, your notes, and your activities. If you need to extend it, and add, maybe you have a custom tab, or maybe one of the default ones that you want to enable them, that would be, one of the customizations that we could do. So in this one, I was just thinking, okay, this is Coca-Cola. We just finished a meeting. Maybe you want to schedule an activity. And it will give you access to all of your pick lists and your predefined, drop-downs. So let's say I'm going to do a phone call, and this is what the scheduling activity looks like. So if I want to click here on regarding so I don't type something manually, it will give me my options. So this will be based on what you have already in your activity table. So I'll just say I want to actually follow up on next steps and maybe schedule it for next week, maybe next Tuesday. And we could type, maybe 9:30 a.m. So now it's scheduled for 9:30. I could scroll down. Maybe I could put some notes. Let me type something really quick. As far as what this opportunity will be. So now I schedule. It is a live connection to SalesLogix, so anybody that will be, in the SalesLogix database, they'll be able to see that activity. And I could also just click on my Activities tab and see everything I might have pending. So I think we just scheduled that one for 9:30 for next Tuesday. Oh, actually, I guess I think I scheduled one earlier at the same time. So it's one of the two. This one is the one I just scheduled. I could probably look at my notes, and actually this is the one I just created for calling them back to check on the new site. So this will be where you see all your pending activities for that customer. We could edit them. You could create new ones. And what's coming soon is will be to just simply click complete, so we'll automatically delete it from your activities view. So within an account, we could add new accounts. So here I have my shortcut, or I could quickly, when you're looking at a grid, I always have a plus sign here. And so we could add, we could edit, and you could also do some kind of quick lookups or reads, if you're just looking up a customer. Let's say, I need to look up here. What was the other guys? I'll just throw that into Janet here. Janet, the view for contacts, opportunities, and even accounts is very similar, so it's easy, to navigate and intuitive. We have a quick actions. It just has a couple more things like send an email or call a main number. Since contacts, usually you have a personal email address associated. So if I were to click on the send email, it will launch the native email application. In this case, in the emulator, it tries to open my Outlook, so I couldn't really show you that one step. But it would just be your email that you're typing in the iPhone or Android, and it will automatically create that history in the history items. I could, let me show you here, when you call somebody, so maybe, we finished a meeting with Coca-Cola, now I need to follow up with Janet, and I'm maybe not in the car, maybe in the coffee shop, so we just need to call them. When you call somebody, it automatically takes you, and I could pretend here, but when you're calling the phone number, it will dial it through the device, and then it will also take you to the notes area of that phone call, so it's recording the history automatically. So maybe as I'm actually talking to her, or as soon as I finish the call, I could enter some notes, like schedule the on-site for next month. So I could enter my notes, save them, and this will be a completed history that automatically gets added to Janet. So if we were to drill down into the related history items, we could see here that we call Janet today. And right now it's 3:16. So within the contacts and accounts, you could schedule activities. You could also add notes. Those will be just the notes. And we could also map the addresses for those customers. This will take me to the Google, I think in the iPhone it's the Google Maps, and it would automatically, if you have the GPS enabled, you could do, directions from here to there. It would just take me to another browser window. So let me go here, and another area is the opportunities area of SalesLogix. So being the sales, Janet doesn't have one. Let me look up here. Have it limited. This is where you get one of your views, of all the different opportunities you might be working. I have some previews. I could quickly see, if they're open or closed. And if you want to drill down, I'll just drill down into this one. We could schedule activities, and you could also update the key information, maybe the potential or the status. Maybe let's just say, we just talked to them, and unfortunately it became inactive. Maybe they postponed the project. I could update the status here within my view. Click Save. And it automatically, update here. So within an opportunity, we have activities, contacts, as well as history information. Mobile device, kind of basic, task, look up a contact, update a note. You could do it, from a mobile device very quickly, but you could also have it in a browser window. Maybe, we're in a hotel, the computer's not working, you just go to their computer, and you could just launch it from one of those supported browsers and have access to kind of this, I'll call it maybe light, but this more limited, features of the SalesLogix. If you don't have a SalesLogix web client, you could potentially start using this to access from some other browsers and have some limited, functionality. And we're adding more and more. I think Scott was showing some of the roadmap things that are coming, like completing activities and adding more of a web administrator. So it is intended, for mobile use, but it also has full support for Safari and Chrome and Firefox. So let me go back here and let me show you maybe how to add maybe a quick lead. Maybe we were at a seminar and we just met a new person and we want to add a new lead. We'll just click on the add, and let me just click here on the name. The name, I don't know, in SalesLogix, if you're familiar, when you click on the name, it takes you to this little window so you can put their prefix. But I'll just go ahead and maybe type, maybe it was Tom Smith, and I could fill in maybe the company that he was with, and we'll just say maybe Orange Juice Incorporated, and maybe I could type all their web, and let's just type maybe his email, Tom at OJ.com. So I could type his email, and if you have required fields within the database, and I do have the lead source being a required field, if I leave it empty, it actually will nicely tell me that we forgot some information. So any of your validation and kind of business rules that you have in place, they will still apply through the mobile, and it kind of tells me here, oh, you forgot the lead source, and it actually has a little hyperlink. So, if the form had more fields or you don't know exactly where that field is, I just click on it, and it kind of takes me, okay, it's right there. And I could then click on here on my pick list to maybe select, okay, yeah, this was, it came from the trade show. That's how this lead came. And let me just click there, select. And once I fill in, I could fill in definitely more comments or information. I could also assign it to other users if you have the rights. We could do that on the activities sections too. You could schedule activities for other users. And that will all be dependent on your security. If you don't have access to do it in the full client, you will not be able to do it on the mobile either. So here you have your leads. If we want to look at maybe a Tom that we just added, I could check a few things. And here's my Tom. You can see I'm very creative. Like yesterday, I'm just creating apples. Today's are oranges. But here's Tom's lead. And within leads, you have the ability to also schedule activities and send emails and have any of the history information available. And there's actually a little here more details. You could have, all the other fields. Kind of hide some of the sections, if you don't want to see it right away, make it a little cleaner. We could, you could even, hide the quick actions and just have the information right away. So these are some of the big overviews. Maybe I could show you a ticket in case somebody wants to see what a ticket looks like. But just to give you an idea, it is full add, edit, and read on all of the key entities that you're seeing here. And if you do have some custom, tables or tabs or even fields within this table, it is customizable, and we will be able to do that. And this is what the tickets look like if you were using support. Let me drill down into one. Within a ticket for support, maybe they're field service technicians that they need to actually go on site. This will be a nice way for them to have access to all of the ticket information. What kind of problem are they having? Is this is it closed, or was it reassigned? So maybe I'm actually on the field and I'm just getting new tickets through my mobile device, and I could work from them. And you could edit them, kind of make any changes and updates from here as well. So let me just show you here. I think settings. There's just a quick options here, to for your login, so you're not typing your login every time you log in. It could save it, and this will be some of the storage, your offline use. So the way that it works today, I think Scott had in one of the slides, we do have some offline caching. maybe you're in the plane, you need to go into airplane mode, or we're in a kind of dead zone and you lost connectivity, it will remember everything kind of from your last session. So if I logged in, and I was just like now, we went to Coca-Cola and I added something, I think, under Avid Limited, and I look up some tickets, and I added that lead for Tom Smith. All of that information, if I were to lose my connectivity right now, it will also be available when I go offline. And then the moment I logged in, if I made any changes, it will also update the live data. And on the roadmap is on the roadmap, what we're working on is to have a full offline. Because if in your last session you only look up one account, when you go offline, it might be just that one. But when you want to be offline, you don't want to. You might be working on all different accounts, and you don't need to be worried about what was saved during my last session. So there are plans that will be completely 100% like offline access. Today is mostly connected live data, and it has some limited offline caching. So with that said, I think I'll turn it back to Scott, because I think he has a couple more things to talk about, right, Scott?
We do have one more slide to show, and it basically is just a little promotion that we wanted to offer to everyone that attended today. And basically what it is that I'm sure there's a lot of folks on the call that have questions about how do we get this, what would it take to get this up and going for our company. And so we're offering a free mobile readiness consulting session with you. And so that would involve jumping on a conference call with one of our technical staff or myself, and we would basically assess your environment and your software with you. We can talk about your hardware, versions of your software, and so forth, and sort of give you some guidance into how many hoops or what's the plan or map to get you up to the mobile client. We realize that you would have to be on the very latest release of SalesLogix with all the very latest hot fixes and so forth, and not everybody's probably got all that today. And so we are offering to just basically give you a little assessment of what it would take for your company to get there. So if you'd be willing to email us at info@customerfx.com and just refer to the Mobile Readiness Consulting session, we'll get in touch with you and get that scheduled, and there is no cost for that initial session. So with that, I think we are pretty much wrapped up. There's a few more questions that came in that I couldn't quite get answered fast enough, but I think what we'll try to do is get those answered on the chat questions area. And if you want to hang on for that, we'll keep that going. But I think that concludes our presentation. Brianna, anything we're missing?
No, Scott, I think we are good. So if you have a question out there, if you want to just hang on, we'll get to those as quickly as possible. Everyone else, thank you very much for attending, and don't forget to contact us at info@customerfx.com to schedule a mobile readiness consulting session. Thanks again, and thank you, Valeria.
Thanks, Brianna.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can talk to him about that when I'm done.